Make a joyful noise to God, all the earth. Sing the glory of his name. Give to him glorious praise. Say to God, how terrible are thy deeds. So great is thy power that the enemies cringe before thee. All the earth worships thee. They sing praises to thee. Sing praises to thy name, Shelah. Come and see what God has done. He is terrible in his deeds among men. He turned the sea into dry land. Men passed through the river on foot. There did we rejoice in him who rules by his might forever, whose eyes keep watch on the nations. Let not the rebellious exalt themselves. Selah. Bless our God, O peoples. Let the sound of his praise be heard. Who has kept us among the living and has not let our feet slip? For thou, O God, hast tested us. Thou hast tried us as silver is tried. Thou didst bring us into the net. Thou didst lay affliction on our loins. Thou didst let men ride over our heads. We went through fire and through water, yet thou hast brought us forth to a spacious place. I will come into thy house with burnt offerings. I will pay thee my vows, that which my lips uttered and my mouth promised when I was in trouble. I will offer to thee burnt offerings of fatlings with the smoke of the sacrifice of rams. I will make an offering of bulls and goats. Selah. Come and hear, all you who fear God, and I will tell what he has done for me. I cried aloud to him, and he was extolled with my tongue. If I had cherished iniquity in my heart, the Lord would not have listened. But truly God has listened. He has given heed to the voice of my prayers. Blessed be God, because he has not rejected my prayer and removed his steadfast love from me. All right, well, welcome to Mystery Island, where we're seeking the one true God. First of all, I want to say a great big thank you to everyone who helped. Whether you donated money, which was really important, or supplies. When we passed that dreaded clipboard, I was very pleased that the first time we passed it, everything was signed up for. And the teachers and the helpers, of course, we couldn't have done it without you. I want to say that the teachers put in so much work, and they just excelled at what they taught, and they were so invested in it. And especially to Amy, who was thrown to a pack of 3 to 5-year-olds, and she survived. And to Lynn, too, because that class was the biggest. At one day they had 12 little rugrats. They were adorable, but you know what 3 to 5-year-olds are like. And they were rambunctious, but they did great, and I know the kids had a great time. And the lunch ladies did a great job feeding the kids, and the snacks were wonderful and just unique, and the kids really enjoyed it. All of that together made our VBS a success. You know, I've been a Christian for 48 years, and God still surprises me. Last Sunday night, I had 3 children registered for VBS. That was it, 3 children. And I thought, okay, we have put a lot of work into this. If it's 3 children, it's 3 children. So Monday morning, we were here bright and early. We opened the doors at 9 o'clock, and people just started coming in. And the weird thing was, these were people I didn't know. I had never met them before. They just started coming, bringing these children we had never met before. God is amazing. If we're faithful, he is faithful. Well, our theme for this week was Mystery Island, in search of the one true God. And every day we learn some new attribute of God. God is good. God is forgiving. God is omnipresent. God is omniscient. God is, what am I forgetting? Omnipresent, omnipotent. There we go. So anyway, every day we learn something new about God. That was part of the treasure that we were seeking. But what I really liked about this curriculum is how it tied science into the lesson every day. And the idea was to let children know that science is from God. And like God, true science never changes. And so each day we learned a new principle. And I'm going to move down here. So each day we learned a new principle in science. The first day we learned about capillary action. And I said it, now I didn't say caterpillar action, but capillary action. And we had a tray with 6 plastic cups on it. 3 of the cups had water, every other one had water. And we took food dyes, food coloring, and they helped me count out 5 drops of the 3 primary colors, red, blue, and yellow. And in every other cup we put that in. And then what we did is we took strips of paper towels and we linked each cup together. So one cup would have the water in it, the next cup would be empty, and we went all the way around the 6 cups. And we watched as the water walked up the paper towel and into the empty cup. And it created the 3 secondary colors of orange, purple, and green. Kids were fascinated with that. And it was a lot of fun to watch. And it worked. All 3 times I had to do it, it worked. Well, the third day, we talked about density. The difference between fresh water and salt water. And how fresh water was critical for us because we need that for drinking and, washing our clothes and cooking. And we went around the room talking about all the things we use fresh water for. But we also pointed out that it's critical that we have salt water because salt water affects our weather, and also that there are many sea creatures that require seawater to live in. And so we talked about the difference in that. We also talked about the fact that seawater, salt water, is more dense, it's heavier. And we had 2 glasses of water, one was fresh water and one was salt water, and we picked them up and we could see that fresh water is actually lighter weight than salt water. And so the experiment was to see how many things float in fresh water and how many things will float in salt water. And we talked about how it's easier to float in the ocean than it is in the lake or in the pool. And so we took things like a paper clip, a rock, a hard-boiled egg, a rubber band, an air clip, and we put them both in fresh water and the salt water to see which would float. Now the interesting thing was we had a paper that each of the children got with a list of all the things we were going to try. And they had to decide, would it sink or would it float? I have to say that none of the children, nor the teachers, got all of them right. Did you know that a grape sinks in fresh water, but it floats in salt water? The most interesting one was the hard-boiled egg. A hard-boiled egg sinks in fresh water, but it floats in salt water. So it was fun, and even the teachers, wow, I didn't know that. A rubber band, I did not realize this. A rubber band sinks in fresh water. I mean, you think about a rubber band, it's just nothing, but it sinks in fresh water, but it will float in salt water. And so we talked about density. But the second day, and that's the demonstration I'm going to give you today, we talked about water pressure and how when you dive into a pool, that feeling you get in your eardrums of the water pressure, and how we are not designed to live under the water, like Tim was saying, like the flapjack octopus lives deep, deep in the ocean and nothing happens to him. But if we tried to do that, our bones would snap just like that because we're not designed to take that kind of pressure. And so we talked about that, and we talked about the principles of that. And one of the principles, well, waiting for this to heat up, is something called Archimedes' principle. Yeah, that is, we took a bucket of water, and we took a rubber ball. And when you push the ball down into the water, there's a resistance. And that resistance is the water pressure pushing up against the ball while you're trying to push the ball down. And that is Archimedes' principle. And the kids each got to try to push the ball down, which of course they enjoyed because they got it. And some of them, let the ball go. And everybody enjoyed that. But anyway, we talked about that and how God's designed for that. What I found interesting was that when I was reading over the lesson, that did you know there are over 150 different types of octopuses or octopi that live in the bottom of the ocean? That they are almost invisible, which is to their advantage because they can hide from their prey, but also they can hide from what they're trying to eat. They're also very fast and they can just skitter across in the ocean. But what I found interesting too was that the whale, even though it's technically a mammal, is designed to withstand pressure when it dives down deep into the ocean. God designed it to be flexible. He made its ribs not out of bone, but out of a flexible material that will collapse as it goes down into the ocean without crushing the lungs. Truly a wonderful design that God made. But the other neat thing that we talked about was water pressure. And so what we have here are so I have an empty soda can, and in it has 2 tablespoons of water, and I'm boiling the water. As the water gets hotter, it turns from water to water vapor. And we explain to the children how when you take a hot bath, you steam up the mirror, that's water vapor. As the water vapor fills this can, it fills it with water vapor, not water, and it sort of expands it. But what I'm going to do when this gets steaming, I'm going to plunge it into cold water. What happens is that the water vapor will very quickly condense and become smaller. Therefore, there will not be anything in that can to hold it out, and so when the air from the cold water hits it, it will collapse. And it worked. Every time I did it, I said, okay, now theoretically it's going to work. And it did. So, yeah, true science will always work if you do an experiment over and over and over again. It will always work. And so, okay, that's a good water vapor coming here. We get just another second to heat up. The kids really enjoyed the science projects as well as the crafts and the lessons. And I have to say, I didn't say this earlier, Linda Fuller did another superb job of the games. The kids just loved the games. And here was another example of God's goodness. Monday and Tuesday were awesome. They were just gorgeous days. Wednesday I woke up, there was water on the deck, it was looking bad. And I said, God, please, one more day. We need one more day. And by 8 o'clock, the sun was out. It was gorgeous, and we had just a beautiful day for your kids. And then you all know what happened Thursday. So it was a good thing we only had it 3 days. Yes. All right, here we go. Let's see if it's going to work. Well, it's sort of. So much for. It's sort of crushed, but when we did it in the classes, it went hot, and it just crumpled right up, and the kids were really thrilled. So it did crush a little, but I didn't let it boil long. But anyway, while searching for the one true God, we all learned some truly amazing things, and we left Mystery Island full of awe for the one true God.
There's another law of science that came into play. It's called, does anybody know the name of that law? Murphy's Law, yeah. Oh, I know, the classes, when it popped, it shocked everybody. And I was expecting to do that again, but, oh. Okay, we're going to set this up again next Sunday, and we're going to do it every Sunday until that can pops. Well, I want to introduce you. Oh, first of all, I want you just to see some of the photos of the crew and what was going on. Linda worked for weeks designing these games and building them, and worked tirelessly. And her grandson, Danny, came and was a big helper to her. The kids thoroughly enjoyed them. And our older children, teen children, helped out running the games, and we just had all kinds of helpers. It was beautiful to see. And one of the crafts. Here are the children eating. There is Dan doing what I'm going to be doing this morning. Dan couldn't be here. He and Marcy and the kids are on vacation right now. And there's our littlest class. There's a whole group, and unfortunately you can't see the volcano really well. You need to go in and take a look at the volcano that David built for us. David Ely put his artistic ability at work, and I was scratching my head trying to figure out how to build a volcano that would look authentic, and had cut out just kind of a shape that I was thinking, this is not going to work very well. What can we do? And David came over, started cutting out pieces of corrugated cardboard, gluing them on, painted it, put some of that foam insulation on, and painted it with orange fluorescent paint and made it look like a volcano that had lava pouring down the side. And that's exactly what it looks like. So thank you, David. I just want to spend just a moment and introduce you to this is Flip, the flapjack octopus. Now this is what we usually think of as octopi, or this one. Now this is a more authentic octopus, actually. This looks like a real one, doesn't it? But the octopus that we learned about is not one of these kind. In fact, everybody put your fist up. That is how big little Flip is. He's not a huge octopus that can envelop a ship and bring it down, but just a tiny little creature. And probably, if you saw him in the ocean, you wouldn't even think he was an octopus. He's in a category of octopi called umbrella octopuses. And you find these octopuses off the coast of California, up by Eureka, and off the coast of Japan. And as I mentioned earlier, they're very deep in the ocean, up to a half mile or even more. One thing I read said some of them are as deep as a mile toward the bottom of the ocean. They tend to live on the bottom, where the sand is. That's where they catch their food, and they have some unique characteristics. First of all, what color is your blood? Green? Somebody's blood is green? Okay, You know, that may actually be true. But I think everybody else's blood is red. This octopus's blood is actually blue. And it's because of God's design. Living in these depths under these tremendous pressures, a creature would not be able to oxygenate its muscles and its vitals with enough oxygen in order to survive. And so octopus blood has extra copper in it. And that's what makes the blood look blue. And feel the bones in the arm. Can you feel that bone? Well, this octopus would not be able to do that because his appendages feel like jelly. He doesn't have bones. It's more like a cartilage, and it is so soft that it will compress, just like Brenda was talking about, and about the rib cage of a whale that dives deep. And once again, it's so that it can survive. They are tiny little creatures. In fact, what looks like ears on the top of this one are actually fins. And the octopus uses them to swim with, as well as his tentacles. And also, he's got a third means of propulsion. He has a jet up under those tentacles, and he brings water in and forces it out. But the most unique thing about the flapjack octopus, and the reason it's named that way, is because this is not an octopus that can speed faster than fish that it's catching and that can overpower other animals in the sea in order to get nutrient. And so it has to use a much more subtle means. And so there's another one of him. And so what happens is he can flatten out completely and look like a pancake, and just either be on the bottom of the ocean or floating, looking very innocuous and safe. You know, some animals, when they're trying to defend themselves, they puff up, or the hair rises on the back of their bodies, you know, and it puffs out and makes them look bigger than they actually are. Well, this creature, to defend himself and to feed himself, actually does the opposite. It's almost like the possum syndrome. He makes himself look like he is not even an animal, just something floating in the water. And when his prey gets close, he's able to grab it with his tentacles and have lunch. I'm not going to warn you about keeping away from these if you ever see one, because you will never see one. This is the closest you're going to get. But it just shows that when God was designing his creatures for various environments, he showed an amazing amount of wisdom and ability in his creation. Another feature of Vacation Bible School this week was we encountered a group of 3 hapless hikers who were looking for some of the features on this beautiful tropical island. And I don't know, but there is a slim chance that we might actually see them again. Let's see if there's any possibility of that.
As far as I've heard, the light's still on, the whale's not present, and the whale's not gone alone, and it makes his regular call to encourage the captain, crew, and soon may I can't do this anymore. After that 2-hour hike, I'm worn out. I'm more used to sea travel than walking anyway. Tell the plane to just pick me up here, take me back home, so I can do more fishing.
I'm not sure the plane could land here. or even find us.
Woman, I do not care. It hurts to walk. My ankles hurt, my feet hurt, my legs hurt. I'm not walking ever again.
All right, well, how about we just stop and take a little bit of a break? We'll refresh ourselves
That sounds like a
and
good idea.
see how we feel after that.
Sounds like a good idea. Oh, why'd you throw that at me? Don't have to.
Sorry.
Are you seriously reading a book on a tropical island adventure?
I don't even want to read when they make me at school.
I mean, you guys didn't want to do like a little research before we came here?
No.
Doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of exploring?
Exactly.
Yeah, but you didn't want to know a little bit about the island that we've been exploring for the last couple days?
No. Not at all.
Well, what can I say? I like to know things. Like, did you know that an octopus has 8 hearts? And there is even an octopus native of Octopus Inlet that has a rainbow blanket instead of 8 legs.
Ah, that's weird.
And because they have no bones, they can squeeze into really tight, small spaces.
Oh, I saw a video of that online once for educational purposes, so I knew where to find one.
Are you like an octopus expert now? It seems like you know everything about them.
Well, not everything, but I do know someone that does.
Oh.
God, of course. He's omniscient. He knows everything.
He's on what?
He's omniscient. Pay attention.
No, you both are just totally wrong. I said God is omniscient. He's all-powerful.
You said omniscient.
It's one of the 3 big O words that describe God. Omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent.
Wait, what? What exactly do those words mean, aside from the fact you must know?
Okay. well,
Spit it out.
Omniscient means that God knows everything. Omnipotent means that he is all-powerful, and omnipresent means that God is everywhere all at once, all the time.
Okay. Now you're starting to make me feel like this is a whole actual thing. I know this God is all-powerful, all-knowing. He created us, the universe, and the call up there. But at the same time, how can he be everywhere at
It's
once?
like the flapjack octopus.
Okay, no, I know that's not a real thing. I'm the fisherman of the group. I'm the expert of fish. That's
No,
not
it's
real.
totally real. It's this octopus that lives down deep in the bottom of the ocean.
Down deep in the bottom of the ocean.
Well, she's right, because not much are known about them, though. They like to hide, and these guys go way down deep.
Way down deep.
Yeah, but God knows them. They can't hide from God. He knows right where they are. We can't hide from God either. He's always with us.
It's true. There's absolutely nowhere that we can go that is away from God. He's with us all the time. Anywhere.
Interesting. Well, all this talk of octopi.
I thought you were never going to walk again. I know.
You keep talking about them. I need to catch one for myself to get back as a pet.
Good, and then on our way, you can be reminded of our almighty God when we get there.
So let's see.
How about some more of those sea shanties?
Stick on.
It's going quicker.
Almost forgot to wear my hat. At least I have one final opportunity to. We're going to close things now. Thank you for joining us in this little recap of Vacation Bible School. Thank you again for all of you who helped with this. So many volunteers we had, so many wonderful. DeVista, thank you so much. You were faithful, helped. She got some great photos for us. I mean, it just went on and on. Lee put so much work in, and we made huge messes, and then Andrea cleaned up. She was constantly cleaning up after us. But there's one that I want to mention especially, and that is Brenda. She's worked on this for 1.5 years, because she started 1.5 years ago preparing for the 2020 Vacation Bible School that we had to cancel. And so it's been on her mind since then. And then several months ago, she started working on it again. And it's been a magnificent obsession. But I see how much stress it puts on her. She doesn't complain about that. She embraces it, and she just puts so much thought into it. And I am I'm amazed. She's the best vacation Bible school director we've ever had, frankly. So, and what she said about if we are faithful and we do our part, God will be faithful and he'll bring the results, and he surely did. We met a lot of children and families that we had never met before, and now it's time for us to pray and do follow-up and see if we can take the next step with these families and find ways that we can help them and bless them. You know, many of them go to other churches and they're locked in and they're doing great, and we're pleased with that. But some of them don't. They're kind of, you know, they need a family that the children can learn from every week, and families can find a place. And so that's God's opportunity in our laps right now.